So they rather go to work and drink coffee with Susie and Bobby every morning than stay at home and drink coffee with Uncle Bobby and Aunt Susie. Right? So they have a work family and then they got a home family. And there's more people that get along better with their work family than get along with a birth family. But then those used to be family businesses a long time ago. The hard way.
Yeah.
They gonna feed these Bloods, Crips, Vice Lords, GDs, BDs, Black Souls. They gonna feed them Latin Kings, Latin Count, Satin Disciples, Satan Disciples. They gonna be feeding. They gotta have some food. They need to be able to take all that aggression that was pointed at each other out on the right enemy. Trump's role is to play a buck dancing clown while he tear the whole system down from the inside. That's his job. He was picked by the hip hop community in New York.
Man, Trump being on like people don't know Trump being on these dudes before he even became president. He was after the mob on stealing the Native American land. He been after these guys, man. I'm telling you, bro. Like people don't like Trump because you know why? They think that the media, they believe everything the media say about Trump, like about how he a racist. Now we know his background, but it's like the people that's really promoting it is the people that's been against us the whole time. The people that's promoting Trump, that he's a bad guy, this and that. Right? And I'm gonna tell you, left wing white folks, man, the whole time Obama was in office, they was making fun of him the whole time. They was being, and then come to find out he was with them too. He was with the with the guys that was the deep state guys that's in on the whole nine. You know what I'm saying?
Look, Judge Joe Brown got an interview he just did about the Trump case.
Go ahead.
Right? And he was talking about the vested interest the judge had, the vested interest that the judge's wife had, the vested interest the judge's daughter had in the case. It also comes out that a day before the verdict came out, there was a leak in the jury room. That's an automatic mistrial. Right? There's a social media account of somebody who claimed to be a cousin of one of the jurors saying we finally got Trump, his ass guilty. They were still deliberating. The deliberation wasn't supposed to be in till the next day.
Wow.
Right? And then on the heels of that, Young Thug judge get caught with the prosecutor trying to buffalo a witness into violating his Fifth Amendment right and testify in court. He got caught. Why is this important? Right? If you're going to prove that they are fraud, you have to drag their fraud out in the open so that the people stop guessing. You don't have to listen to me no more tell you that the whole court system is a fraud. They've been doing this fraudulent BS the whole time. Right? So all you got to do is watch now. This is enough to make them have to throw Young Thug case out and Trump case. See, it's in court, it's a reversible error if a prosecutor make a mistake. It's a reversible error if the defense make a mistake. But for judicial impropriety, there's only one remedy in law: dismissal. You can't be held under an unbiased fiduciary, is what it's called. Every fiduciary is supposed to be an unbiased agent in the court, which I don't understand how that's possible when he a bar member, the prosecutor a bar member, and the defense attorney a bar member. So the overriding priority of the court is to uphold the integrity of the bar. It's even in their bar license documents.
That's right.
They rules and regulations for being a member of the bar. Rule number 1, uphold the integrity of the bar at all times. So if the integrity of the bar is to get you off the street, they're going to get you off the street, whether your lawyer agree or disagree, because you still got to fight against the prosecutor and the judge. But most of the time, he's going to shuffle your case with other cases to sell you out and convince you to plead guilty.
That's right.
This is what's making the court system immensely lucrative now, because everybody's taking guilty pleas. Nobody's fighting with jury trials anymore. So now they don't have to come out of pocket with all that money for a jury trial. So now they can take a frivolous case and fight it harder to get you more time for a petty theft than the dude that committed the murder and went to trial got. He killed somebody. They gave him 2 to 5 for manslaughter. You stole a candy bar. You got 12 to 25 for theft.
Right. That's deep.
Right. Just because there's an inequity in the courts. You have to see it in order for you to know that they don't belong here. The judges are the tribe of Judah. They told you that in their Bible. And they operate by the lawgivers under Levi. The tribe of Levi is the Levi.
Right.
And the lean is the anagram for Enlil. So they're telling you the whole time who behind it, but because we don't know what they're doing, because we don't know their secret society languages, we are just sitting on the outside watching them in our face, behind our back. Yep, all courts are banks. They all tied in to accounting groups. The barristers is the legal side of the lords, is the governors of the land side of the royal families in Europe. The esquires are the ones who work under the barristers. Yep. We already put the bar on notice. I had to capture the first charter, which was issued in Savannah, Georgia by King George II, I think. I thought it was King George III, but when I look back at my notes, it was King George II in 1863, I think it was.
Which is his like granddad or something like that. It's his granddad, King George III, granddad. And they were all dark-skinned Negroes. I'm telling you.
Yep. In their first charter, it tell you why they came.
Hey, could you go in on that a little bit before you close out? Go ahead.
One day we're going to go over the charter. But in the charter, it's basically telling them to steal everything that the people from the land have. It's telling the lawyers to do that. It's not telling the bankers to do it, because the lawyers is going to use the banks. And the banks is the courts. And what we call in banks are what we call branches. All crimes are commercial. That's in their law. Their law say that. All crime is, that means that it's a financial enterprise. It's something for making money. It's a commercial endeavor. That's why all of the banks got commercials, and the lawyers. It used to be illegal for a lawyer to advertise. Think about that for a minute. Now they all over the news. 1-800-CALL-SAM.
Hey, man, we made it to that mark. We about to get out of here. Me and the brother Raw are going to be back for another one, y'all, probably as soon as possible. Like I said, I got Mother Sophia Stewart is going to be coming on the show probably either sometime this week or next week, as soon as I get her a date. So you want to tune in for that. We might even get Rod on with her and get Rod on with Mama T and Rod. That's going to be a hit right there. Mama T and Rod.
That's my girl. I introduced her to you on the live over here.
Yeah, you did. And I got in touch with her on through TikTok. So now that I got TikTok going, we're gonna be bringing more guests. And like I say, Mama T, she be dropping the tea. So We're gonna bring her on, let her do her thing. And Mother Sophia Stewart, the author, writer, and creator of The Matrix, we're gonna be coming on and promoting her books. Also, she got her books for you can get them through Cash App. We're gonna be setting all that up, letting you know about that, about how to get her books.
She wrote Terminator too.
Yeah, Terminator, Matrix, and she said that they stole the new Matrix. They couldn't use her people, so they used John Wick. They used John Wick to make the new. They didn't use Neo because she had the copyrights. They had to go around that, and so they used John Wick to play in the part 4. She said the part 4 is not even part 4. She's gonna break all that down. She sent me all. I got a whole file that she sent me of the pictures and everything. Man, when I tell you, when this lady come on, it's game over, bro. It's game over when Mother Sophia Stewart come on, bro. It's game over. All the file that I'm building right now that we on the show we finna do is crazy. She sent me pictures of all kind of stuff, and how they breaking down. She was breaking down a seed. Man, this lady, I'm telling you, man, this lady right here is a whole nother type of being, man.
You know, I did a show with her on what's the one that all of those rappers be on, Telegram?
Oh, you talking about Clubhouse?
Clubhouse, yeah. Money magic, Babylonian blood magic, Babylonian sex magic. Remember Baba told us about the Porne, the spirit of the Porne.
Yeah.
That produces the over obsession with pornographic material.
Yeah, right.
Right. And a lot of us don't know what's being done. Somebody inboxed me and asked me to talk about incubus and succubus. All it is the energy, that's your natural sexual energy used against you in a conjure.
Right.
So you trying too hard to be righteous, you can't live your life, but life gonna live you because you're gonna have these experiences, whether you accept them or reject them. And when you reject the experience you're supposed to have, nature takes its course and it comes back as an egregore of a belligerent nature.
Go ahead.
Right? You're supposed to have consensual sex, male to female. That's natural. Right? But when you start denying yourself what's natural, it starts to create something called an aberration.
Mm-hmm.
Once the aberration takes hold of the first person, it becomes contagious like a disease. Because everybody wants somebody. Come here, look at this shit. Come look at this shit. Come here, look at this shit here. Everybody wants somebody to come look at this shit. But don't nobody want to clean it up. Everybody want to film the police beating the bejesus out of somebody look just like them, but don't nobody want to go fight the police.
Yeah, right.
Right. We don't have no problem putting it on social media and filming it, but if we got to stop them from what we filming, that's going to fuck up my motherfucking likes.
Right.
It's going to alter my algorithm. We back to the computers. We back to the AI. And then they're seeing is AI.
It's the boy from Omen 666, and it matches that. It's like it's similar. They similar. It's a similar background with the freckles and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you look at
this is the irony of it. The story of the boy from the Omen is the story of Barack Hussein Obama. All right. The story starts in a series of movies. There's 3 original Omen 1, 2, and 3. Before that, you had Rosemary's Baby. And in the middle of all of them 4 movies, they dropped another one called The Demon Seed. The Demon Seed is about a lady being impregnated by a computer, hijacking her psyche, causing her to go through a parthenogenesis. Now,
go ahead.
What it's really telling us, due to the level of technology at the time, is that it wasn't the computer, but it was still technology. It was artificial insemination.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The lady didn't know what was taking place till she gave birth to a child. Now, at that point, I would have thought it was an independent movie. But the child was a problem child that we knew about from the movie itself. Now, Rosemary's Baby come out where the nun, remember, in the demon seed, the lady was single. She was unattached and unmarried.
Go ahead.
In Rosemary's Baby, the lady is a nun who gets pregnant with a child, a demon seed. They say it in the movie. So the reference takes you right back to the artificial intelligence of the first movie, the demon seed. But that's not the kicker.
Yeah.
Rosemary means a resurrection of a rebellious woman.
Go ahead.
All right. They playing a mirror faction out of parthenogenesis using this AI, the laboratory test tube babies.
Uh-huh.
And while they doing that, they telling us the story from the side of the enemy, looking at the earthborn giving birth to his protector.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now, in the biblical story, they merged the mother and the son and gave him a whole new name called Jesus.
Go ahead.
Right? Now, the son originally was called Emmanuel. But they ain't never called him that again once they named him. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They try to tell us that the boy grew up and his name was Yahshua. But they tell us, ain't it?
Yeah.
The problem comes in is that none of this shit that we talking about was written in Hebrew. It was written in the Greek. Well, Greek doesn't say Yahshua, it say I-E-S-O-U-S. Right? Isos. Or Isis, when you put the proper pronunciation to the vowels and the consonants of the grammar, it literally spells ISIS. Right? 21-part play. Why is it a 21-part play? Because it was 21 dirty Moors that came over here. And it's 21 fezzes in the George Washington Fez Memorial. It was 50 chiefs, and it's a painting of 50 chiefs on the painting with Charles V, Uncle Charlie, who told us that if Big Mama say get him, I'm not going to get in the way. You got to remember, you had different kings in Europe at different times that was doing different shit at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So you got one of the kings of France doing one thing, the king of England doing something different, the king of Spain doing something different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? This is how the Virginia Company and the Northwest Company was originally owned by the Crown of England. The Royal Moroccan Company was incorporated under the crown, under the Spanish crown, under the Tudors.
Mm-hmm.
They was at odds on the high seas in the trading of services and goods after the Virginia Company merged with the Northwest Trading Company, both of them slave trading companies.
Mm-hmm.
You can look them up. They're not hard to find. I mean, you can go do the research on them. You just didn't know they merged because they don't want to tell you that part.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go do the research on why did they sign the Paris Accord, we know it today as the Treaty of Peace and Friendship.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It doesn't have nothing to do with us, because if it had anything to do with us, it would have been signed over here.
I think it was by robbing us. I think it was some part of robbing us because
read it. It's the it tell itself. You don't really have to do you know how people be like, you reaching. It tell you in the story. In the history they wrote for the Paris Accord, it say that the Paris Accord was called because this newly formed company called the Northwest, it was the Northwest something, was at odds with the Royal Moroccan Company. These two companies were stealing each other's goods in on returning to Europe. Now, one of them is Spanish, one of them is English.
Mm-hmm.
When they called the meeting, there was not one chief there. So we already know it don't got nothing to do with us. It was a ceasefire agreement and a cooperation agreement to protect and support each other in the transition of goods from the Americas back to England and back to France. I mean, back to Spain.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this became a problem, but what made them sign it in Paris? Remember, after they signed this, they built the Eiffel Tower and they sent the Statue of Liberty drag queen ass over here.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, France is losing the war against Toussaint.
Okay.
They'd already been whooped and replaced in the wars with Chief Pontiac with the English. He started off fighting the French because Detroit was originally Detroit. It was a French settlement, right? And so while they fighting, the French losing sells the protectorate agreement of the Louisiana Territory, which is actually known as the Missouri Territory.
Go ahead.
Right? And it became the Louisiana territories after the Louisiana Purchase.
Yeah. From
Okay, now. Huh?
From the King Louis?
No, that's how they named Louisiana. King Louis and Queen Anna.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother story. I don't want to go in there. Okay, now, when the Paris Agreement is signed, the French is done over here. They lost.
Mm-hmm.
You only get 3 shots in warfare to win, and if you lose 2 in a row, you done. 3 rounds and out. It's a boxing thing, amateur.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, once the French gone, the French can't do nothing directly to steal our resources any longer.
Mm-hmm.
We still have the Spanish, the Dutch, the Portuguese, the English, the Brits to contend with.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Most of us don't know that it was Russia who sent the tribes aid and assistance in the so-called Civil War. Not the Civil War, Revolution. No, was it Civil War? You gotta look it up. I got brain lock.
Say that again.
The Russia aided us in the Civil War. It was either the Civil War or the Revolutionary War. We got to look it up to be sure we got the right war.
I got you. The damn computer is going. I don't know what it's doing. I know ain't nothing on this computer, but go live. All right, so it's doing this.
Okay, while you doing that, I'm gonna keep talking. Okay, so at this time, this the Tsar of Russia that's sending us over here support.
World War II?
No. Civil War or Revolutionary War. It's one of them.
Let's see. No.
Put civil in front of war.
Okay, I got you. Nah, maybe I need to do it like this.
Just put civil in front of war.
Yes. All right, there we go.
Read what that say.
During the American Civil War, Russia supported the Union largely because it believed that the U.S. served as a counterbalance to its geopolitical
rival,
the United
Kingdom.
And the Russian Navy, Baltics, and Pacific Fleet wintering in the American port of New York and San Francisco respectively. Yeah, ports.
Okay, now we ain't even fighting a war in on the West Coast. Why is they putting ships in San Francisco? Look, these people haven't crossed. They haven't crossed. Look, they telling on themselves right here. This is a critical piece of data right here.
Oh shit, bro! I got it. I got it, bro. I see what's happening. I see what happened.
When this is going on, we haven't even had the we haven't had the Mexico-American War yet. America haven't annexed Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and California, Nevada from Mexico yet. None of this has happened yet. 1863. None of this has happened yet. Right? The Spanish-American War don't kick off into the 1890s. Right? Or somewhere up in there. Now, they sending troops to San Francisco. That's where the Caliphate of Queens was.
And I know we know the real truth of this, but I want to make this connection. See what date they okay, they say 67. See, look, but around the same time that Civil War, because that's when they was at, like in the Louisiana Purchase, 1865. Why would Russia look? Okay, I got it, bro. Okay, so that's during the same time that Andrew Jackson then was doing the Trail of Tears, and during our retreat, as we were trying to get away from them, or they was pushing us to the west. It could be that Russia sent people to help us against them.
They've been sending people to help us. Look, this is what ended up happening.
Okay.
After they sent us support, the assassination was developed to get rid of the czars of Russia.
Go ahead.
They was the only royal families outside of the Americas that supported the organic people wherever they found them. So they started with an information campaign, stealing information from a brother named C.L.R. James. He became a renowned communist philosopher, but he wasn't teaching communism. He was teaching tribal structure and tribal format to govern large numbers of people. They wanted to take out the part where everybody had equal access to all resources. So communism was the experiment that they run under the platform of socialism, which is both of them are written in the translations as democracy. Right? So once they had what they call the Red Winter, when Bolshevik Revolution kicked off, and the assassination of Tsar Nicholas went down to get rid of the Russian royal families, the remaining royals of Russia fled to America.
Good.
That's why they never found them. Every time something happened, everybody kept running over here for help. Right? So Big Bubba said, okay, come on, baby. I'm going to take care of your little dusty ass too. Just don't let them motherfuckers come over here. And they came over here.
Right.
Can you blow that map up?
Yeah, you want me to blow it up big? Okay, here we go. Let me save it in this file real quick. Computer's down, stolen, bro.
So they had to get rid of the royal families of Russia. We had to go find somebody in Russia to back that got the blood and the right as a czar. And if we find him, he can be put in, pun intended. Put in.
Pun intended.
Right. And why is he put there?
Yeah.
To overthrow the vampires, Vlad, right? To overthrow the vampires of the empire of the vampires, the bloodsuckers.
Put in.
Yeah.
Here we go, Rob. We got it nice and greasy right here.
Okay, you see where it say Illinois
Spaniards
territory,
took
Mississippi
over.
territory, Indiana territory, right?
Yeah.
That's called the Northwest Territory in the law books.
Go
You
ahead.
see where it say Mississippi territory?
Right here, yeah.
Where's Louisiana at? See, all that's the land of flowers from the eastern seaboard of Florida all the way to the Gulf, going around Louisiana into Texas. That was off the land of flowers. And that was
That's right.
heavily forested terrain. It was deforested by lumberjacks. And this is why lumberjacks became celebrities in the era. Right? When we went into the Contra War, they was tricking our ass to do everything that was against our best interest. And we was working for them and didn't even know it. That's why they say we were slaves, but we was never slaves.
I know it.
We was deceived. We was lied to. We was dupes. We was tricked. Right? We was hoodwinked. We was bamboozled, but we ain't never been no slave.
Mm-hmm. We definitely got hoodwinched. That's for sure. And
They trickery. They trickery is amazing to me. But look at these years. You see the orange?
Yeah. Right here.
Can you zoom in on that date?
1803.
Now remember, in 1863, 60 years later, right? This is when the Northwest Territory is all of the white, including Ohio. That's part of the Northwest Territory too. Right? But they showing you how they moving in and expanding from the east going to the west. But for some reason, who is in the west already? They tell you right there.
Spaniard.
Spain is already in the west. So why is Russia sending? Who is Russia sending the fight in the west? It can only thinking it's New York. But look a little closer. What do you see? There's so much stuff here. I can't go through all of the details because it'll be forever doing this. And the beavers, because they had beavers on the crest. Now let's go back and let's go through this paragraph first. Okay, and flour barrels, because they had flour barrels on the crest, signify the city's earliest trade goods. See history of New York City. The flour barrels and windmills represents the tremendous wealth generated by the New York City from the Bolting Act in 1674. Right? I thought that America was started in 1776. What this got to do with anything? So let's go a little deeper. The Dutch settlers actually arrived in the region in 1624. The town of New Amsterdam was incorporated in 1653. The English came in 1664. The Dutch governor, Peter Stuyvesant, surrendered. See? I told y'all we lost the war. Surrendered, signing the English documents on September the 8th, 1864, whereupon it was renamed New York. So it was originally New Amsterdam. But it wasn't until 1664. That's the mark of the beast, y'all. Same in degree. Same in form, different in degree. That's it. 3 6s. Blacker than the lady. Look at 8. That's the princess. Whereupon it was renamed New York. The 300th anniversary of New York City was celebrated with the World's Fair
in 1964 in Flushing Meadows with the borough of Queens. Within the borough of Queens. Now, that tell me Run DMC them gave me this clue because it say, from kings come queens, from queens come kings, we raising hell like a class when the school bell rings. So they sound that alarm to make me pay attention to Queens, where religious freedom was first recognized with the Flushing Remonstrance in 1657. A laurel wreath encircles the seal. A laurel wreath. Now, let's look that name up. Bay laurel. So let's go to Wikipedia. Let's get off into this. Now, remember in the eagle hen on the back of the dollar bill, it had what they told us was olive branches. But if you look a little bit closer, it looked like a couple of these. So it says Laurel nobilis is an aromatic evergreen tree or large shrub of green globerless, smooth hairless leaves in the flowering plant family. It is native to the Mediterranean region. And is used as bay leaf for seasoning and cooking. Its common name include bay tree, bay laurel, sweet bay, true laurel, Grecian laurel, or simply laurel. Laurus nobilis. Nobilis mean noble, right? So we talk figures prominently in classic Greco-Roman culture. Now we're talking about Greco-Roman culture. We're talking about when the patriarchs took over in Rome. So they're telling us how it all take place. Worldwide, many other kinds of plants are diverse families are also called bay and laurel. Bays and eels. Bays and eels. Generally due to similarity of foliage or aroma to Laurel nobilis, the nobles, right? The Grail kings. So they can't distinguish the Moors from the Grail kings is what they telling us. And the full name is used for the California Bay Laurel. Look at that there. Look at that there. Motherfucking Tupac. Also in the family of the... Okay, let's go here. This is a matriarchal term, and I don't feel like getting that deep. But we almost done, because we can see what it is. Remember, it look like it say umbrella. So that tells me I should go here, because Jay-Z is tied to Rihanna, who always say, go under my umbrella. So let's see what the umbrella is. Umbrella californica is a large hardwood tree. Rodney means tree, y'all. Native to coastal forests of California as well as the coastal forests extending into Oregon. Origin to me, or Oregon, makes me think of Origin, which was the church before the Rome took over. And Origin is the first century Christian writer. Origin was a writer about the Queen Mother Isis. So when you go to the Stargate series, you see them in there fighting against first they was fighting against the Grail Kings of the Egyptians, and then they started fighting the Ori, which is short for Origin. It tell you right in the movie who they was fighting, which is what they call Christians, but they demonic Christians, which is actually the imposters. So they tell you the story on the Stargate. Right? They tell you the story on the Stargate. The tree's pungent leaves have similar flavor to bay leaves. though stronger, and it may be mistaken for bay laurel. All right, we already went over that. The drywood. So the same thing, right? Under the umbrella. But it got to be another clue here, or this is like going too far overboard. I got to find something else in here that catches my attention. All right, I see the word Native American, so now they got my attention. Umbrella has long been valued for its many uses by Native Americans throughout the tree's range, including Cahuilla, Chemash, Ulon. They're naming tribes right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tribes of people. That's the Ogdad. Now this is where, when I was looking at from Jillian, it it's these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, that's the 3 sixes again, which we didn't already uncover those. Both sets of 3 sixes. It was something that it was tying back to Jillian again in there. But anyway, when we get down here, okay. Leaves were used to treat rheumatism and neuralgias. A tea was made from the leaves to treat stomach aches, colds, sore throats, and to clear up mucus in the lungs. The leaves were steeped in hot water to make an infusion that was used to wash sores. The Pomo and Yuki tribes of Mendocino County treated headaches by placing a single leaf in the nostril or bathing the head with laurel leaf infusion. No, that's not getting... No. So this, to me, this is what I would call a dead end with the tree. So the only semblance I would have chasing this laurel tree right now is the fact that my name means tree, laurel means Loris, or laurel means tree, or you know what? Let's go to naming. So let me look under the umbrella. That's not telling me the meaning of the name. Okay. Laurel nobilis. So whoever Laurel is, she noble. The Bay Laurel, Latin Europe. Ah, there we go. The Latin Europe connection is the conquistadors, which was those Spanish-speaking Moors that were the mulattoes. I didn't want to do that. Okay. Now, what do we got? Did we make it all over? What's missing? Okay. Jillian produced the eye. Obadiah gave me the scarab. We found these in the seal for New York. which led us to uncover the 3 6s and the other 3 6s on the other page, right? Because those are 3 6s too around there. So from here, there's nothing left to uncover. Nothing left to uncover. Y'all know the whole story now. You know, y'all know the law that tricked us that got us trapped into the cycle in order for them to be able to trick us into the slave, what they called us, the POW camps, to put us in this oppressive condition and keep us in the apathetic state. It's the spell of Kingu. It's the spell of sleep. It's used to the blood rights and the pain rights. The molestation of the children, the raping of the women are all sorcery, ritualistic magic that they do to oppress people and to hold them down and subjugate them. Right? So, we can wrap this up here. I didn't brought y'all the whole kingdom. What you want to do with it? Somebody else turn now. That's my 3 knocks. That's all I gotta say about that. And as the stock fall on the New York Stock Exchange for GM, is what y'all not knowing. Go check the Bitcoin holdings of General Motors and watch how they're rising. That's what you're not getting. It's a alchemical transfer. The worker gonna love this shit when it's all said and done. Because the way that it's set up is the Bitcoins are backed by gold that counts itself every few seconds, and you can't hack it because it counts the actual physical gold as opposed to the credits put into the slot machine by these imposters that they call money. So, contrary to popular opinion, and it look like the workers are suffering, and they are. They suffering. That's true. But they've been getting fucked so long, they got to go through a little bit in order to gain a lot. So, Detroit News Channel 7 is the place where I'm supposed to tell UAW members individually. All you need is about 3 public notices from 3 different areas. A cease and desist for the international UAW because all members are currently being investigated for corruption. It gives us no room or place to guarantee us a contract because there's no corporate legal team that's going to allow their client to sign on to a contract that's already dirty. It's dirty already. They can't do it. If all parties must come to the table in good faith, then it can't sign this contract. The international is not coming to the table in good faith. They turned their back on the UAW, the common man, the hard-working, everyday common man. The international UAW got a little cartel of rats in there. Greedy, blood-sucking rats. I can't get them out until the people look at what's taking place in real time. Understand why they're getting fucked. Once it comes to their attention, oh, this is why we're getting fucked out of a contract, because these wicked motherfuckers are the imposters. These the traitors. Flip the traitor, draft the champion. Flip the traitor, draft the champion. It's just that simple. I got a price. $1.10 for GM workers, and I flip that shit over. $1.10 for Chrysler workers. I'll flip that shit over. $1.10 for Ford workers. I'll flip that shit over. I ain't done though, because we need to figure out a way where some of these single working mothers can have somebody have their back out of their local. It should be set up. So I work with a lady, beautiful lady, got 2 children and an asshole daddy for them. And they tell us we're not working overtime. Her baby about to come home from school on the bus. Nobody's going to be there over an hour. What a dream for a goddamn predator, ain't it? He got an hour head start if he get her as soon as she get off the bus before anybody realize the girl gone. Because she can't get anybody there in time to get her daughter. You can't do that. So on behalf of the single mothers, Ford, GM, and Chrysler, bring a penny. One single mother from all of them, bring 1 penny. So what you realize I have is $3.33. And this shit to be cleaned up. I will flip the imposter, drag their ass out in the open, and clean up the workers' situation. I done flipped imposters all over the place. I got all my receipts. I took my left bumps and I took my right bumps. I bumped straight every fucking time. It's proven beyond a reasonable doubt with preponderance of evidence as the weighing mechanism that I know what I'm talking about. The GM for Chrysler's situation is what you call a gateway. If you have a job, you want them to win. You want the worker to win. I don't care if you work at McDonald's, if you're a school teacher in Chicago, if you're a bus driver in New York, if you're a taxi driver in Miami. I don't care if you shovel shit in Mississippi on the backwoods of a farm. If you have a work job that generates your income, that's supposed to sustain your life, you should probably want this contract to go in the favor of the worker. It will set off a chain reaction. From ground zero, the fallout will be a balancing across global scale of all workers. Everybody got a job, a benefit by resolving this matter. A lot of people don't think it makes sense until they analyze it and they know what the law say. Nobody don't want to ask their lawyer about if somebody is under investigation for criminal activity in a contract negotiation prior. Then another contract negotiation come up. Can that person in the active investigation negotiate that contract? The lawyer gonna say, well, he can. There's a whole lot of other shit attached to that, but I'm not sure if the other party's gonna participate if they know that they're under investigation, because that's called coming to the table in bad faith. It's a bad faith negotiation. And at any given time, if the other party do sign on, they can always flip out of the contract by saying that it was a bad faith negotiation, the contract
here. So I just tell the people that's African, hey, the Africans is claiming they shit back over there. We claiming our shit back over here. Why don't y'all go assist them in claiming they shit back, and you won't be begging for reparations? Because it's not going to happen, because once you get your shit back, the people who had your shit can't pay you reparations unless they get it out of your coffers.
What you mean unless they get it out of your coffers? What's that? What do you mean?
They owe us everything because everything was already ours. They hijacked what was ours and used it against us.
Okay.
They took all of the stuff that was taught to them and used it against us, and we forgot we taught it to them.
All right, I got one more question, Rod. I know that was supposed to be the last one, but I forgot. You said you know I always do this.
I'm with you, brother Rich. We just chopping it up. You help. Look at your hat. You help. We help.
Hey, what this means to you, Rod? Because I remember you talking about.
I just told you. I mean, you help. We help. That means if you start off on your project, we're gonna help you along.
Excellent.
We're going to do what we can to support you because you're doing what you can to inform us.
Oh yeah. And shout by the way, shout out to everybody who joined the Patreon or was on the Patreon. Rod did an amazing lecture on Patreon about the whole
you know, this Kendrick Lamar Drake situation, and
among other things that you can't talk about on YouTube.
many other things that you can't talk about on YouTube. So it was a heavily a conversation that would just get taken down. So we had to put that one especially on Patreon. So if you're interested in that conversation, head on over to Patreon. Black Magic 363 is spelled the same way as this channel. It's called They Not Like Us. You know, the same name as Kendrick's song, They Not Like Us. So you could check that out over on Patreon. Amazing conversation I had. But I gotta end tonight's conversation. I gotta ask you this, Rod, because you sent me a clip, and the shit was wild. They was talking about these beings, pre-Adamite beings, took the moon, I guess wrapped it up and flung the shit toward the earth. All types of wild shit. Then they was talking about beings living on the moon, on the base of the moon, using it as a ship to observe Earth. What the hell was they talking about? And I know I'm not even explaining it as proper as it was. I forgot. I just remembered it right now. But what the hell was they talking about? Who took the moon? And was this some shit and Lil did where he took the moon and flung it toward Earth and then decided to live on the moon? What the hell was that you sent me, Rod? What was they talking
Look,
about?
remember, I keep telling you the moon wasn't always there.
Yes. And you also
right?
talk about Lilith moon, the original moon.
Right.
Yeah.
So they put an artificial moon up there, and it's a battleship.
It's a battleship.
Remember, we went over that.
Yes.
And the moon will take off and leave if shit get thick, and it's required. Its service is required. But in the meantime, it's tied to the Dark Knight satellite to protect a hologram through the Van Allen belt. You can suppress the energy easier remotely than you can if you try to do it while you in it.
So without the moon and without the Dark Knight satellite, this matrix wouldn't exist. This hologram wouldn't exist. Is that what you're saying?
This the 3D override. The 3D will still be here. But what would happen is all of the things that they've used to suppress the inner divinity of the people of the planet would not work on them anymore. That's all. And they would be able to have different abilities, and then they'll remember not only that they have them, but how to use them. But you had to keep the God beings subjugated using science and spiritual science merged.
You ever I don't know if I asked you this before. You ever do, people talk about sun gazing. So you never do moon magic, Rod? You never tap into the energy of the moon?
Yeah. The sisters learned how to use the moon for moon magic in modern yoni magic. Because they realized what it was for, they started learning how to harness it and to use it as the silver key, which is oracle reading. So they're able to use the light of the moon and transmute that energy into information streams that they can pick up as an intuitive download.
Right.
That's what the Salem witch hunts was about. When they caught Big Mama teaching the settlers' daughters yoni magic. Some of them had got into a euphoria and went into a dancing frenzy, and it became contagious because once the mitochondrial is turned up to its highest capacity, anybody that have residue of mitochondria in them will be activated. And if you didn't do your work, you're going to be negatively activated.
With so much of the population focused on the moon, if there are beings on the moon, do you think we can affect their well-being by moon gazing? Like, do they ever be like, how like sometime when the sun's shining us, we like, oh shit, people put on sun, or Europeans put on suntan and lotion. Like, if we focus our sun energy on the moon, do beings of the moon be like, oh shit, I gotta cover myself. These niggas is moon gazing. You know, some wild shit like that.
No, because the moon is projecting on a higher frequency than you can project back at it.
Mm,
And the highest frequency always trumps the lower frequencies. That's the design of the lunar rays.
Oh yeah.
The women can transmute the energy, and the men can learn to use it if they learn how to use their intuition. Because it's that energy, they had to have some positive to go along with the negative in order for the balancing act to take place that they call the orbiting of the earth.
Right.
It got to be in perfect balance. This is the pulling on the tides.
Right. Man. Family, tell me this ain't some interesting shit here, y'all. Wow. All right. Last question, Rod. I swear this is the last one. What was your thoughts? We in so-called 2024 now. When 2012 came around, how did you look at that? How did you interpret this whole 2012? And because you started out the year in the golden age talking about that. How did you interpret all the 2012 talk when it was going down, Rod?
They was discussing the Mayan calendar as the cause because it ended in 2012, right? The irony of it is the 1776 Conjure of the Blood of Crispus Attucks expired July the 4th, 1976. The problem was the War 1812 gave them an extension into the year 2012 because the tribes took the Dirty Moors back to bloody war, and they wasn't supposed to do that. We were supposed to educate ourselves out of the condition. So the dates was telling me that the contract can be refused after the Mayan calendar goes back to its next cycle, which is the next time it come to an end. We'll be having a different conversation about something different then, Brother Rich, but it'll look similar to what we're doing now.
Right. Somebody just reminded me, somebody in the chat, because they brought up Terrence Howard, and I forgot to ask you one of the things Terrence Howard, not only on Joe Rogan, but one of his main talking points is him talking about nature's curves and how there's no straight lines. Now, I was taught, and a lot of us was taught about the platonic solids, and those are the building blocks of life. What's your thoughts of him saying all that's bullshit? They didn't take into consideration ether and other elements, and that there's no such thing as straight lines, the platonic solids, whatever. Everything is curvature. What's your thoughts of him talking about that?
That's correct. That's what they say in the nation. That's all wise, right, and exact.
Yeah.
Right. The science is okay. If you look at the platonic solids, this is impressions in the two-dimensional description. But if you can turn it into a 3D image, it won't be the same. This is when they call it, when you can do it in your brain, they call it activating your holographic memory. That's what Nikola Tesla did. So you examine it not from the two-dimensional, which is on the paper, or the one-dimensional. You now can examine it in 3D. Once you see it in 3D, it'll activate a frequency in the brain. All of those symbols do that. But even like the Holy Sephira, we look at it as a flat tree. But when you look at it as a three-dimensional projection, you begin to download more data in your understanding of how it works. And it'll carry a frequency that activate certain energies in your chromosomes.
Indeed. Yeah, man. Listen, man, I would love to have a talk. Everybody keeps telling me to get Terrence Howard on the show. I would love to have a brother. I talked about it in January, having a brother on the show. So if anybody knows the brother, I would absolutely love to have the brother on the show and kick it with the brother. Have him and Rod on the show. So yeah, if anybody knows Terrence, man, I would love to have a conversation and talk to the brother. You know, definitely. Oh man, Rod, man, this man, shit, man, this some powerful shit here, man. This some powerful. You know, let me ask you this. What do you think about? Because you talk a lot about the divine feminine energy, and sometimes we. Let me just use it as an example. Sometimes when we see things happening, we think it's a conspiracy theory, and it may be universal synchronicity.